friends, thanks for joining me for a flip through of this beautiful journal that I created as a Christmas gift to an extended family member. I just finished making this dangle, and you can see that there are lots and lots of beads, glass beads and other sorts of beads, and that gets hung right here on this bow on the spine. So I'm going to go ahead and clip that into place. There we go. So let's have a quick look here. We've got our dangle that goes like this. We have our lace that goes on the spine and covers the signatures. This is the front. I've got 4 layers plus lace on it. This is the back. The back is nice, clean, and simple. Then when we open it up, the story and the journal begins. So I took a book called Moi and Marie Antoinette. And was it Moi or Moi? Anyway, probably Moi. And this is a story about Marie Antoinette and her pet pug when she was a child. So it is a cloth cover. You'll see many pages have lace sewn onto them. Also, another interesting thing about this journal is that I had to disassemble the book completely. In order to put it back together in chronological order, I had to use fabric to do that. So each page is reattached in the proper order, sewn onto fabric. I tried to leave much of the story exposed so that the pictures could be appreciated and the story could be read. I also included parts of the book A Midsummers Nights Dream throughout. So you'll see probably about 5 pages from this in this journal. Most of the pages have a paper tab on them. You'll see here on this page that I tore some scrapbook paper and created a pocket, and it certainly then embellished it. On this page, well, another thing I did was I used pages from a home interior book, so you're going to see a lot of that, and I did that to create a certain aesthetic in this journal. So here is a pocket here. I used scrapbook paper here, and you can see that, but then I used parts from a page of the book, so it all sort of blends and works together. This is a piece of my coffee dyed paper that I stamped and then used napkin on it. I absolutely love this, and the feeling of this paper is spectacular. So a sheet of that is going in there. I didn't want to cut out the story. This is Marie Antoinette's mom. I didn't want to cut out the story. I wanted this page to be readable, so I simply folded this here and put a little, what do we call this? Ruffle. But you can open it up and read the story, and I just simply added a small pocket and tag right here for journaling. Here's a piece of my coffee and pink dyed paper with a little stamping. I added a horse charm here. The person that is receiving this journal loves horses and actually is a rider. So here we have the home interior book, and I added this because it looks like it's a picture hanging on the wall, and then I added this card over top of this frame, and of course it's of a horse, so I think she'll really like that. And then inside I just added a tag for journaling. Over here I tried to, when I added pockets, I tried not to cover much of the words or the pictures, and we've got a space for writing here. This opens up, and then we have, this is Beethoven, and so we have Beethoven here, and then we have some journaling space inside. I think my friend Carol sent that to me, but I'm not 100% sure. So here we have more of the story, and then we have a double pocket here. This is a belly band and a nice big piece for journaling. Here's our center signature, and I just added a dangle with a few beads on it. This is a side pocket with some lace covering it, and I created a nice big tag, and then some, this isn't really coffee dyed paper as much as it is, I worked with some watercolors to create the aesthetic on that paper. This is the second signature. Some of my yellow dyed paper here. This little tag, well, big tag, is just held on by a paper clip. This is Marie Antoinette's wedding. Here's a nice tag, and then there's a tag inside. This tag comes from a kit by Line Dot Arrow. Summer Roses, I believe, was that kit. Some coffee dyed paper with some embellishments here, and then some lace there. A tab, and then we have a little dangle hanging here. We have a dangle, oh, I showed you that one, never mind. Some coffee dyed paper that's been embellished. This is a vintage envelope. This is the center of the second signature, and just here's the bead dangles. I took a piece of the vintage envelope and then layered it on top with paper, and actually I think I forgot that that's a good spot for a tag. So let me see if that's clean. Oh, it's not. I'll have to find something to pop up in there. Maybe this. All right, friends, so I took that scrap, I rounded the corners, I added this scrap, and then I found this in my scrap pile, and I think it came together perfect, and we're just going to go ahead and tuck that right up there. I forgot that I had made that a double pocket. All right, so these are just, both of these, they open up, and there's a little pocket inside each one of them with some ephemera to write on. These are vintage library cards, actually. So this is a vintage envelope, and I just tucked some of my blue coffee dyed paper inside that I embellished. I like to tear paper and then add it to a journal that has this sort of aesthetic. So you'll see some torn here and here. Here also, let me get this out of the way so you can sort of see it. I do that, it resembles to me like sort of cracks in a wall. So I just love the way that that looks, and I use it whenever I make this kind of journal because I just think it adds so much texture to it. This is another piece given to me created by Catherine, and then I added this, but this ephemera she gave me, and I put it on top of the card, and you know, just pop it in this little pocket. This is so clever, and it's got some of her beautiful coffee dyed or eco dyed paper in it. It's absolutely beautiful. Love it. Here we just have a nice big upper pocket. I layered a moth. Well, I layered a butterfly and a moth. I don't know why, it just struck me that I liked the way that that looked. Nice big tag here. Here we have a small double pocket. This I had some scraps, and so what I did is I put the two scraps together, added a vintage photo, and added this chipboard, which I believe was Bow Bunny. And then the way this opens, you get a couple of flaps. That was kind of fun to do that with my scrap because you would never guess that that's what it is, you know, what it was. Another page of the Midsummers Nights Dream and some sewn on lace. The lace is on both sides of the page. I did more of that tearing. We have a nice pocket here. This little window opens. I do believe this window die cut was given to me by my friend Annie of Annie Creates. More Midsummer Night's Dream. This was in there. It was a book, and so I took some pages from the book. More lace. Some more coffee dyed paper with some pink in it. This has a tab, and you open it up like this. I put the writing paper here but left this blank so that the new owner can choose to add photos, can choose to draw on it, you know, however she wants to do it. I didn't want to make every decision for her in the layouts. So again, because she's a horse lover, I had a vintage horse card, and I think all of these vintage horse cards were given to me by my friend Sherry Schmear with Studio 28E. I'm pretty sure. Either that or maybe some came from Dale of Not Too Shabby Chic. This image comes from a book that was called like Famous Houses of Boston or something like that. So that's a picture of that house. This comes from the Midsummers Nights Dream, where it started chapter 3. This is a little pull down with a little tiny card that was given to me by my friend Dale of Not Too Shabby Chic. Pull it down, you can write on it. So we are into the third signature now. This has had lace sewn to it. Both sides of the page actually. Some of my coffee dyed paper. This is a little birdhouse die cut and bird cage, I should say, and a little card that was given to me in Happy Mail, as was this die cut. And I think Annie Creates gave me that. Didn't want to cover up this part of the story because it's a real sweet part of the story. Added some lace here on the edge of the paper. Here we have an upper pocket. Beautiful aesthetic here, and a tag and a card. Here on this tab we just have a little tiny charm hanging from a bulb pin. In this fun pocket, which I cut and then I inked the edges, we've got a little journaling space here. And then we've got this. This came to me from my friend Gwen Offit Designs, and I had ordered some embellished paper clips and they came in this, so I thought it would go nice in this journal. Here we have a lace pocket. Oh yeah, I had to use this because these were sliding around, but we'll get to that. So let's take this out. Just some scrapbook paper with a fancy chandelier on it. Oh, excuse the noise, the lawn is getting done. Carl and Andrew are out there edging and mowing. Just some little beads for our center signature. Here we've got some coffee dyed paper in pink. And then we have some scrapbook paper that I embellished with some fabric. Here we just have a nice little writing space, a giant paper clip which holds this vintage photo. I put this moth on here and tucked a little tag in there. Some coffee dyed paper. Here we have 3 pockets. And this is a vintage envelope. This is the information about the author and also some history about Marie Antoinette. A vintage envelope. And that is it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me and check it out. Thanks for watching. See you soon.